In tonight's headlines, Justice Chief Paul Lam says any public interest defense in Article 23 will have a high threshold and rules out banning social media platforms. Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang meets Hong Kong delegates and urges a speedy passage of Article 23. And Joe Biden and Donald Trump look set for a presidential election rematch after their Super Tuesday victories.
Lawmakers and officials have met to discuss the over 13,000 suggestions received on Article 23 legislation. Justice Chief Paul Lam agreed with calls to clarify the definition of rebellion and confidential matters. Lam noted the opposing views within the legal sector on allowing defendants in state secret cases to use public interest as a defense. Supporters said the defense should apply to everyone and not just reporters, while others feared it could create a legal loophole. Lam emphasized that even if the public interest defense is introduced, the threshold should be high.
Hong Kong says Telegram should be prohibited by Article 23 proposal.
Executive Council convener Regina Ip raised concerns after the Bloomberg News Agency said the social messaging platform Telegram could be banned. She said overseas talent could be discouraged. Lam responded that there's no intention to ban any social media platform.
We're targeting people exploiting, abusing, misusing those tools to disseminate information or comments endangering national security. That's our target. We're not targeting social media.
The government slammed Bloomberg for misreporting, saying it caused misunderstanding and fear. Lawmaker Holden Chow asked whether the government would consider scrapping the professional qualifications of fugitives and freezing their assets in Hong Kong. Security Chief Chris Tang supported the idea of revoking the qualifications, while terminating the business registration of fugitives would be considered. He added that the government has proposed cancelling the passports of those who abscond. Maisie Mock, Cable News.
Vice Premier Ding Xuexiang, accompanied by Hong Kong's former Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying, met over 200 SAR representatives in Beijing this morning. Leung said the Vice Premier's presence underlined the importance Beijing places on one country, two systems. He thanked Ding for addressing SAR delegates to Beijing's top advisory body, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, or CPPCC. Liaison Office Director Zheng Yansheng, along with CPPCC Standing Committee members Henry Tang and Margaret Chan, were also at the hour-long closed-door meeting. Hong Kong Representative Eliza Chan said Ding noted that the public response to the Article 23 security law was overwhelmingly favorable. By passing the bill as soon as possible, Ding said it would allow Hong Kong to focus on reviving the economy. Chan added, Winkle Lo, president of the Chinese Manufacturers Association, said the vice premier pointed out that national security is crucial to people's livelihood and economic development. He said Ding reminded the representatives that more action has to be taken to develop the northern metropolis. The top official was very satisfied with the Hong Kong administration's work, according to Lo. Janice Lo, Cable News.
From today, residents of Xi'an and Qingdao can visit Hong Kong on their own instead of joining a tour group. Qingdao municipal official Zhang Zhengrong told RTHK that more people from his city are expected to travel to Hong Kong under the individual visit scheme, but it is hard to estimate the number. He said the Qingdao and SAR governments have increased collaboration on maritime and tourism. Jack Zhen, director of CTS HK Metro Park Hotels Management, expects tourists from the two mainland cities to stay in Hong Kong for 3 to 4 days per trip. He also predicts that they will flock to places favored by affluent mainland visitors, such as Canton Road, the city's luxury shopping street. Several candidates in last year's district council elections failed to win in the geographical constituencies, despite spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. TV host Adriana Sung declared that she had spent $600,000 on her campaign, including $2,600 for 2 top-quality shirts on which she printed her name and her party's. She finished 4th in her Wan Chai contest last December. Sharon So splurged $670,000, but received the least number of votes in Wong Tai Sin East. The DAB's Lo Yun Ting, dubbed the Queen of Votes because she secured the most ballots, spent $490,000. Party colleague Yu Ming, the King of Votes, used up $370,000. Candidates were allowed to spend up to $952,000 for their campaigns.
US President Joe Biden and his predecessor Donald Trump have taken big strides towards securing the nominations of their parties in the race to the White House. Biden, who is seeking a second term, was victorious in all 14 states where Democratic primaries were held on Super Tuesday. The only hiccup was a defeat in the American Samoa caucus. Republican frontrunner Trump convincingly beat Nikki Haley, winning 12 states, including swing state North Carolina. Haley took Vermont, then announced that she was quitting the race. Addressing supporters at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, a triumphant Trump focused on his favorite topics.
We're going to close our borders. We're going to have to deport a lot of people, a lot of bad people, because our countries can't live like this. Our cities are choking to death. Our states are dying. And frankly, our country is dying. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get the inflation down. And we are going to make our country greater than ever before.
The results are likely to set the stage for a historic rematch of the 2020 election between Trump, who is now 77, and 81-year-old Biden. Sachin Katwi, Cable News.
Haiti has descended further into chaos as armed gangs roam the capital, Port-au-Prince. Gang leader Jimmy Cherizier, nicknamed Barbecued, vowed to fight to the death until Prime Minister Ariel Henry resigns. The situation is so bad that Henry has not been able to return to Haiti after going to Kenya for talks on a peacekeeping mission. His plane was unable to land in Port-au-Prince as gangs tried to seize the airport. Instead, Henry traveled to Puerto Rico. The violence in Haiti erupted after he refused to step down last month and make way for fresh elections. Criminal gangs used that as a pretext to extend their own power, with troops unable to restore order in one of the world's poorest countries.
It's absolutely catastrophic. It being the human rights situation, the humanitarian situation, the lack of any kind of political discussions, negotiations. There needs to be an international force of some shape, size, and form, because the Haitian National Police is not powerful enough to take on the gangs themselves. There are all kinds of reasons for that.
Israeli protesters have tried to stop aid from reaching Gaza at the Nitzana border crossing between Israel and Egypt, claiming that the consignment would go to Hamas. This came as the World Food Programme accused Israeli troops of blocking its first attempt in 2 weeks to deliver life-saving supplies to northern Gaza. After the lorries turned back at the checkpoint, starving Palestinians grabbed whatever they could. As desperate Palestinians elsewhere trudged in search of food and safety, an internal United Nations report spoke of widespread abuse of detainees. The document said Palestinians in Israeli detention centers were subjected to beatings, dog attacks, and sexual assaults. With no ceasefire in sight, the Palestinian death toll in Gaza since October has reached 30,700, with more than 72,000 wounded. The stock market has regained momentum, one day after tumbling 2.6%. The Hang Seng Index picked up 1.7% on gains mainly fueled by a rally in tech stocks. JD.com surged 7.8% as it unveiled a 21% year-on-year growth in revenue. Alibaba gained 3.1%, while Tencent rose 2.4%. Meanwhile, gold prices fell back slightly after hitting a record $2,127 an ounce. The precious metals surged overnight on market bets that the U.S. Federal Reserve will cut interest rates in the latter half of this year.